Welcome to a swing gate card tutorial. I'm Charee Filimoehala here at the Graphic 45 office, and I am excited to teach you this new way of making cards. So we're just making a little snip from our card base and adding it here to create some extra interaction and extra space for personalizing your cards. In this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create these 3 cards, and then also show you some great inspiration on how to use up the rest of that G45 Card Club kit so you can create a total of 6 cards. All of these cards this month have been created for us by the wonderful Ginger Ropp of My Sister Scrapper. And as a lot of you already know out there, Ginger never disappoints, and this month she certainly doesn't. These are easy to create, and you can even do it with whatever supplies you have at home. So if you don't have our kit, don't worry, just grab some cardstock and some papers and you can play along with us as well. But if you want to pick up that kit, and of course you do, just hop on over to our website, G45papers.com, and you can subscribe, or you can just pick up this kit. Easy peasy. And while you're there, check out our blog and print out that project sheet so you can follow step by step along with us. So let's go ahead, grab those supplies, and start creating some magic. So let's get started on our first swinging gate card. This is card number 1 that we're going to be creating. And you can see, and it's mentioned here in the notes, that this has been inked, and it's been inked using our Graphic 45 black photogenic ink. You can pick that up, or you can just use any coordinating inks you already have in your stash. It's going to look great and just make it pop, each layer pop a little bit more. In this tutorial, I will not be inking, so I'll show you this sample where you'll see both. For step 1, we are going to be taking our black card base. If you are following along at home, the card base, when it's been folded down, is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So when it's opened up, it is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And we are going to open it up, and from the right hand side, we're going to be trimming off 1 inch. So since its total length is 8 1/2, we trim that down to 7 1/2. Just trimming off 1 inch off the right hand edge. And all of our cards today are going to be using that same technique. So it will be easiest to now just trim all those card bases. So if you're going to be creating 3 or 6 or however many you're going to create, just go ahead and repeat this step that many times. Once you've trimmed all your card bases, we're going to take that 1 inch piece we had left over. Of course, we're going to use that. We don't want anything to go to waste. And we are going to trim this at 4 1/8. I'm sorry, not trim. We are going to score this. So let's score this at 4 1/8. And you'll do that to all your 1 inch segments. Step 2, from Rise and Shine, the B side, we're going to cut a piece that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 and another piece that's 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. Step 3, we're taking that 1 inch piece that we've scored, and we're going to go ahead and fold that back. So I've got just my 1 inch, or my small segment, folded back, and then we're going to take our larger of the 2 pieces of our Rise and Shine, the 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to adhere this tab part on the back right hand side of our Rise and Shine paper, just right in the center. So once you find a good placement that you like, we can go ahead and flip that over, and let's add some adhesive on the backhand side of this, right in the center. Like so. Oh, like so. I had it upside down. And then we're going to add that piece inside of our card base. So I'm going to slide that Rise and Shine piece out of the way, and then flip this over, and then just adding my adhesive. We're going to adhere this on the inside of our card base. And I am finally trying out what has been a #1 suggestion on our YouTube, is to try out some art glitter glue. So I'm finally doing it. I purchased some last week after watching Annette's Facebook Live video that we hosted on our Graphic 45 Facebook page, which is a great video all about how to maximize our new metal dies making cards. So we should go check that out on our Facebook page if you haven't already. But anyway, after seeing all the comments, I finally took the plunge and purchased some of that adhesive. So now that it's adhered inside, you can see our swinging gate card is starting to come together. Step 4, we're going to take that other piece of Rise and Shine we cut out, and this is going to go on the front of our card. So the interesting thing here that we don't normally do is have this go flush with the front of our card, not exposing any of that black, but because we want this to be seamless, we're going to have it be even from the top and bottom, even-ish. So once you get the placement you'd like, you can adhere that down, and you can see that now, since that is flush with the front of our card base, it does all slightly blend in right now with the back. 5, I've cut this piece of Good Life paper to be 2.5 by 4 inches, and I'm going to adhere this onto the front panel of my card. Again, it's going to be flush with that right hand side and even from top and bottom. And then from our die cut assortment pack, we've taken out this blessed banner, super cute, and added some adhesive to the back. And then this is going to go just in the center of our Good Life panel at the bottom. Step 6, from our Good Life B side, this cute little polka dot, we've cut this down to be 3.25 by 4.75, and then taking this Life on a Farm die cut piece assortment, we are going to just adhere this on the center of our die cut on the back. And if you've got some adhesive seeping out the front of your holes like I do, you can just take a damp paper towel to dab that, and then just be sure that you're always using adhesive that dries clear when you're doing paper crafting as well. So once it dries, it won't be a problem at all. And then after we've adhered all of that, we can now add it to our swinging gate. So this is just going to go right in the center of our card. So we're only going to be putting adhesive on the swinging gate just right here in the center. And just as long as you're using a nice heavy duty adhesive, this should work out wonderfully. And then just find your sweet spot and adhere that down. Then we're taking our Life on a Farm die cut piece and then add some foam adhesive or some extra chipboard pieces or whatever you've got to add a little bit of dimension to the front of your card on the back of there. Since I'm using some foam adhesive, I'm just going to make sure that those are nice and adhered on there. And I'm using some scrapbook adhesives 3D foam circles. You can find some scrapbook adhesives on our website as well at G45papers.com. If you go to the Staples tab, and then underneath there, the Staples category, you're going to find an adhesive category, which has some great foam adhesives there. So add your foam adhesive, and then we are going to add this onto our Life on a Farm, just adding one Life on a Farm sentiment for another. Mine's just going to overlap just a little bit off to the side, giving it a nice bit of dimension. And then next, to give it a nice farmhouse feel, we're going to add one of our metal brads to that tag. Of course, if you want to put this in the mail in the envelopes that come in there, you may want to leave the brad off this and then just use them on another project. You can decide how you want to do it. If you're putting it in a package, you can just throw it in there. So How Ginger has asked us to use these is without the prongs. It just makes it a little bit easier when adding it to this. So if you want, you can take something like needle nose pliers and even leave it in its package and pull this off like so. Or how Ginger does it in her tutorial videos, which I imagine you've already checked out her channel, but if you haven't already, be sure to check out my sister Scrapper's YouTube channel. She has just a lot of really great and wonderful tutorials showing you how to use Graphic 45 and a lot of other really great paper crafting brands as well. So how she does it is she takes the brad out like this, and she uses her Tim Holtz scissors, which I do not have any, and then just cuts it off the back using those, kind of prying them through. She said that she's had the same pair of scissors for years and years, and they still haven't gotten dull or anything like that. So if you have those Tim Holtz scissors, you can do it that way as well. So once your brad's ready to go, we're just going to add it over that die cut hole. So I'm just going to fill in my brad base just a bit, and then adhere it down. Now, of course, because that's liquid adhesive, I'm going to let it sit for quite a while, making sure it really gets a good strong bond. Step 8, for the inside of our card, we're going to be cutting this cute little cow border strip, and this is from the Rise and Shine paper, and it's 7/8 by 4 inches, or 4 inches by 7/8. And then we're going to flip this over, and this is going to adhere just on the center of our 1-inch black cardstock piece. And then taking this animal stack die cut, add some adhesive on the back side, and then adhere this to the center of the back panel. And of course, if you'd rather save that beautiful die cut piece, you could just add a photo of the recipient of the card, maybe the two of you together, and then use that in a mini album project or something else. But it does look so gorgeous on this card. And then now we're just going to add a few more little flares. So we're going to take 2 of these red flares and adhere those on the inside of our card base. Card number 2, our Country Life card. We're going to be creating this super cute black and ivory gingham card. So to get started, our step 1, we're going to take our card base, just like we've done with our card number 1, where we've cut off 1 inch and then scored at 4 1/8. And then from our general store papers, we've cut these 2 papers down to be 4 by 5 1/4, and then the other one is 3 1/8 by 5 1/4, or 5 1/4. Step 2, we've just folded on our score line of our black 1-inch piece, and then I've added some adhesive to the back of that little tab, and that's going to go on our gingham. That's going to be our larger of the 2 pieces, and then we're just going to find the center on the right hand side and then adhere it on the back hand side. Adhere it to the back. So our piece should look like this with a swinging gate arm, and then that we just adhere right into our card base. And then grab that smaller gingham piece we cut, and that's going to go on our front panel, flush with the right hand side, and then just centered from the top and bottom. Step 3, we're taking our Good Life paper, the B side, and we've cut this to be 2 1/2 by 4 inches. And adding this some adhesive to the back, we are going to adhere this onto our front panel. We want it to be flush with the right and even from the top and bottom. So again, we're flush with the right hand side and then even with our top and bottom. Let's take this cute little rooster, and we are going to adhere that just right in that top left hand corner. Step 4, from the locally grown B side, we're going to cut this to be 3 inches by 4 1/4, and then we'll adhere this to the center of our flap. So find that center spot and let's add some adhesive. I know that my locally grown is wider than my polka dots, so I'll just add adhesive and that general space. And then center that again. And then take this Country Life die cut piece and add your foam adhesive to the back. And this is just going to go right in the center of our locally grown swinging gate flap. And then we've got some more fun little die cut pieces that we're going to use to embellish this. So taking this gold little pendant, let's add this to the top left-hand side. And then these cute little gold leaves just add that nice little polished touch. These are one of the things I love about our new die cut assortments is to die cut out something like this. Could just take, quite a bit of time pulling out your machine and finding the right die that you want to use and then cutting it and doing that with all these little intricate pieces. It's so nice to have them already die cut for you. And then on top of that, they have that extra little, little detail that your die cut, your metal dies just wouldn't grab. So we're going to be adding on this locally grown ticket. But as you can see when I flip over my swinging gate, that you can see the backhand side. And just to have all of our bases covered, we're going to go ahead and cover that with some graphic 45 scrap paper. So whatever you have lying around that you want to use the scraps, I'm going to use this locally grown piece and just cut a piece of this to fit. So it needs to be nice on the left-hand side of locally grown when we're looking at it right side up. The other side not so much because that part won't be visible. So I'm just even going to trim that so I know I don't need to worry about it. And just go ahead and fussy cut this to match my ticket. Now I can adhere that down. Like so. And this does seem like a great opportunity to ink it up just to hide any imperfections. If you want to get in there, you can really try to get in there, but I think it's going to be easier just to ink this edge. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this onto my swinging gate front. I just want a bit of the gingham to show on the left-hand side and then have it underneath the Country Life. And then I'm noticing that my die cut piece has a bit of white showing through, which, because these are die cut out, every once in a while things can be off center just a tiny bit, which not to worry, you can just trim and no one will notice the difference. Or you could always have inked that up as well, would have been another solution. Step 5, we're going to trim out this yellow heart. This is my Happy Place border to be 4 inches by 3 1/4. And then this is going to adhere right in the center of our 1-inch black gate arm. And then taking Rise and Shine, we've trimmed this out. This cute little cut apart, the Rise and Shine, that's going to go right in the center. So adorable. And then our last step for the card, step 6, we're going to be decorating the inside back panel. And it does say at first to add the brads to the upper front panel and the bottom right, but we're going to do that after we decorate the inside, and then we'll add our brads so they have time to dry. You could do it the other way around. It would just take a little bit longer to get those to dry. So we're going to add our banner in our top left corner on the base of our card. And then there's this cute little fresh eggs die cut that we are going to just pop on the top, adding an extra little pizzazz. Then we're going to add that cute little black flourish down in the bottom corner. And now that we are done with that, we can add our cute stamped brads. We've done the same, taking those prongs off the back. And then one is going to go in our top left-hand corner, and the other will go in the bottom right, making sure, I think I've got more glue on my fingers than I do on on my brads. All right, now it's stuck. So our second one is going to go on this bottom corner here. And then go ahead and let those dry. Card 3 is Fresh Style. It's got this beautiful red and black print with a cow on the front. I think this would be a great thinking of you or a birthday card for someone. So we're taking our card base like we've done in the first 2 cards for step number 1. And then we're taking Fresh Style. And we've cut this to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then 3 1/8 by 5 1/4. And then taking our largest piece and our scored arm, we have adhered that on the center back of this, and now we can add it into our card base. You can see after you learned how to do one of these cards, you're just going to cruise through the rest. Kind of make it your own, have a little fun with it. So let's open this up. Take our smaller piece, and this is going right on that front flap, flush to the right, and equal sides from the bottom and top. And of course, since this is a print heavy word paper, you do want to make sure that you are adhering this on the right side up. Step 4, we've taken our locally grown paper and cut it to be 3 by 3 5/8, and then we've taken the B side of Rise and Shine and cut this piece to be 1 inch by 3 5/8. So what we're going to be doing with those 2 pieces, I'll show you here. So we've got this beautiful design, and then when you flip this open, you don't want to have some 2 different papers and the back of a banner showing. So we're going to be adding that to the back of our locally grown and then the banner that we're going to be using. So we're taking our locally grown piece, and then on the back of the right hand side is where we're going to add this locally, or the Rise and Shine piece. So when you flip it over and you've got it hen side up, it's going to be on the left hand side because since it's reversed. So when I'm adhering this down, I've got my yellow Rise and Shine paper on the left hand side flush with the top, bottom, and left. But when you flip it over, it is on the back of the right. Step 6, we're going to take this piece and add it to the center of our card base. So we want it to be centered from the whole card itself, from the top and left and right hand side. That is why I left some adhesive. I didn't add adhesive all the way on here because remember that's going to be exposed. So I'm just scooting this along to find where I want it to be. And then once I find that placement, make sure I'm not adhering it down to my other layer. And there we have it. Now we're gonna take our largest black flourish, and this is gonna go on our front panel towards the bottom left-hand corner. A scrap piece. I'm using Rise and Shine since it's the same one I use back here. We want that to be blend in with each other. And this is about a 1 3/4 inch, could be 2-inch scrap piece, but we're just going to adhere it on the back of the right-hand side of our Fresh Style banner. So once you've got that in the place you want it to, and it might be even easiest to just adhere it and then fussy cut. So let's do that. So we'll adhere it onto the border side of our Rise and Shine. So we have the nice yellow on the side, the back side that we'll be showing. And then let's go ahead and fussy cut around this banner. Of course, you could always skip this step, but we always like to have those bases covered. So looking good so far. You can always go in, and this would be one of those times that I think would be more important to use your ink on those edges to kind of hide that if you'd like. And let's adhere this to the top of our locally grown black chicken wire paper, just right in the center. Beep. So now that we've adhered our banner right in the center, it's about flush with the red sides of the paper, which is a fun look, and then it's showing some red on the top as well. Step 7, we're cutting a piece of our general store to be 7/8 of an inch by 4 inches, and that's going to just go on the inside of our gate swinging gate piece. Step 9, we've trimmed a piece of Fresh Style to be 2 5/8 by 2 3/4 of an inch. Before you add on your cow piece, we are going to cut this label in half, and then you will put that down on your 1-inch swinging gate piece, just about nice and even. So there will be quite a bit of space in between, and then you'll put your cow piece down, so you won't see the gap in between. Since I did not do that first, I'm just going to measure to fit. So we can always make it work. If you skip a step, or like I sometimes do, I like to go ahead of myself and have to go backwards. We'll just put that down. And then we've trimmed to fit our other piece, so now it's going to be nice and centered there. Voila. And then we're going to take this cow die cut, and then let's add some foam adhesive to the back of this. So I'm getting to this point where I'm running out of squares, but I still have all that negative space. So I'm just going to cut out a square of that, like so, and then we'll pop it onto our Fresh Style piece that we cut. And then this is going to adhere to the front of our swinging gate piece. Then we're going to take our Happiness is Homemade, and this is going to go on the inside of our swinging gate arm, just right over the center of that gingham, and then taking these cute little leaves we'll adhere those just underneath. And then let's open this up. And then on here, we're gonna add some black gingham pendant banners just in the top left. So we've taken one and then we're going to double it up. And then add your brads, and you are all done with your 3 farmhouse swinging gate cards. So to show you what else you can do with your leftover pieces, we have 3 more samples to show you. So taking the exact same idea, just cut your base pieces to fit your die cut pieces, so using that clock, and then just add your embellishments. Super cute. Love the gingham with that red. Life on the farm. And then another one of those animal stack images. So fun. And then we've got a Live, Laugh, Love card. And you can see there's a little clock piece coming out of the top, but I like how elegant that looks. Flip that over. This is my happy place. And then again, we've got a sticker or a die cut piece that says, "This is my happy place." This plaid looks great too, and I love the plaid on the background as well as the swinging arm. And then our last sample to show you, using the Welcome to the Farmer's Market. And then another, and then that is a frame that has been it's a die cut frame that has been popped up, and then just added a larger paper Rise and Shine square behind there. And then that's been doubled up because the Rise and Shine has a border on the back. So just using this red floral paper, so it has a nice, consistent, cohesive look. Friends, blessed. I think any friend would feel blessed to get one of these gorgeous cards in the mail. We hope that you've enjoyed creating all of these cards along with us today. Be sure to share your cards with us on our Graphic 45 community page on Facebook or on Instagram using our Graphic 45 hashtag. But thanks so much, and as always, be sure to subscribe for more tutorials like this one. For this month, we'll be doing 2 more farmhouse tutorials, so subscribe to get those tutorials in the mail, and then hit that notification button. And as always, happy paper crafting.